look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The catdets spitting facts, got the cancel culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show you mean it. Stay in culture, let's make some more. Catdets corner, sold you color. All the baddies is a lady, pull up, he's a lady. Killer, you may also know him as that. Chatting with cash on the back end, I was gonna add up the change like a cat. Gotta say I'm glad I was in the JUP like an OG status and I'm still up on the path. Cooking up a gas, started the expansion. Looking like a blast man, it's fun to be a cat. If you ain't one yet, you should stick around for that. When my name turned red, I felt the first passion. I just get it moving on, making do some music in the cats like it's a groove. Truly, cats looking like a little movie. Life getting changed, that's how he said he do. We got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making peace. Roof break, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The cat that's spitting facts, got the cancel culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show me. We got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making peace. Roof break, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The cat that's spitting facts, got the cancel culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, you better show you mean it. Stay in culture, let's make some more. Catdets corner, sold you color. All the baddies is a lady, pull up, he's a lady. Killer, you may also know him as that. Chatting with cash on the back end, I was gonna add up the change like a cat. Gotta say I'm glad I was in the JUP like an OG status and I'm still up on the path. Cooking up a gas, started the expansion. Looking like a blast man, it's fun to be a cat. If you ain't one yet, you should stick around for that. When my name turned red, I felt the first passion. I just get it moving on, making do some music in the cats like it's a groove. Truly, cats looking like a little movie. Life getting changed, that's how he said he do. He got wins here every week. I've been saying that it's heat. Every call I be getting geeked. I'm in thrall for every speaker. Updates making peace. Roof break, can you see it? Luck ain't even in it. This is just a bunch of heavy lifting. So look, it's a Wednesday running back. There's a W in the chat. The cat that's spitting facts, got the cancel culture on the map. There ain't no PvP, we're preaching PvP. If you want COC, better prove you mean it.
Hello, and welcome to the Planetary Call. God damn, that song is a banger. Shout out to my guy, Dr. Preball, who did not just the audio, but also the visuals on that. Chat, do we dig that? Yeah, Banger Wednesday. SLR Lord is correct. Hello. Drop a little PPP in the chat if you are excited. We haven't had a Planetary Call in a minute, and it feels good, oh so good to be back with everybody. We'll get started here in just a second as we wait for the room to fill in. If you are watching this on Twitter, hit that retweet button. If you're watching this over on YouTube, hit that like button and all that other good stuff. Pre-balling for president, says Yodapun, and he's not wrong. Jao Hero missed the cash greeting. Well, we're back, and I'm seeing tons of PPP in the chat. That's a risky thing to say, actually. Let's keep the, PPP, 3 Ps in the chat. Keeping it safe for work at all times. You hear him giggling off stage. He's going to be my co-host for the day. He is also the co-founder of Jupiter itself. Please drop a little JM in the chat for Mr. Siong. How you doing, buddy?
Good. Is this the same songs that they were playing before my breakpointing? Or it's a different song?
I think we might have played the JUP Rally song that he had made, which was just
I see. That was a good one as well. That was amazing.
The man does bangers only. That is the basic fact of the matter. What's going on, June? It's good to see June in the chat here as well. I can't even keep up with all of this. Oh, gotta say, the Jupiter team, good looking fellas and ladies to a T. So to shout out to BC for noticing that.
BC is a teammate. It's a teammate.
He's a teammate with good taste, is what I would say. So let's go. All right, cool. We're gonna get going here in 3. Let's see. Do we have a quorum out here? Let me check the other messages. Make sure that we have enough people here. All right, perfect. Folks, we got a corker of a call. We got Alex from deBridge is here to talk about the DBR launch. We'll have him on in about 30-ish minutes or so. Alex, I see you over there. You can get ready, get amped up Feel the energy. RJ's in the house. Nice. I dig that. We have Omer here for Chaos Labs, who's going to be talking about some cool upgrades to Perp. And let's just be honest, we got a bunch of great shit happening today. So without any further ado, now that Hanko is here, we can officially begin. I see you, Hanko. I see you, Molu, as well in the chat. All right, let's get into it. It is, oh my God, it is October 9th, 2024, and we are here with the Planetary call. We're going to start this off the same way we always started off, with the unofficial cadet theme song. It's always a good sign when people want to use your theme songs as their ringtones or alarm clocks. Somebody, please help Danica out and drop that link into the chat if you can. It's on the YouTube page, Jupiter Exchange for sure. What the fuck and you watching? I think I don't know what the fuck you are saying here, so we're gonna just move right along there. Kano Smart, where's my message? It's here up on screen, buddy. There you go. Shout out to you. Siong, you have a lot of fans over in the chat. I gotta say, this is good stuff. All right, we have a very good meeting, good Planetary call lined up for you. My name is Cash Donda. If you don't already know, I am the lead of the Uplink working group, which produces these calls and a bunch of other great content, including the best goddamn Twitter page in the universe. Big shout out to Srijani OG and Clouds for pushing that one forward in particular. I do some other stuff as well, Sherpa over at Super Team. And today, for the first time ever, we have a brand new co-host. People might remember I proposed to Meow last time we did this Planetary call in real life, immediately divorced. We were co-hosts together for all of 0 weeks, basically. But I'm happy I'm here with the new and improved co-host, Mr. Siong. Siong, how you feeling, my guy?
Oh, this is a Photoshop picture. Were you actually wearing like actual costume before, or like that was Photoshop as well?
Yeah. So this is I have a astronaut costume. I put it on for
Wow,
your photo.
that's amazing.
Your face over mine. Yeah, if you can't tell. I don't know if people have noticed. Look at this. Look at the detail.
This is real, right? This is not fake, right?
Please, no. I got it back when I was in what's it called? Tampa, wherever they fucking shoot rockets from. That's where I was, and that's what I had.
So the Super Team logo is Photoshop.
That's the only part that's photoshopped. Yeah, not fake at all, says the exchange here. Siong is indeed the Breakpoint legend. He's a general legend. And I figured since it was his first time kind of co-hosting the call, we might just spend 2 or 3 minutes getting to know you, Siong. Is that all right? Can we do a little rapid fire speed dating so that people can get to know you?
Yep. Ask me anything.
Okay, well, hey, that's a dangerous thing.
Nothing to hide here. Nothing to hide.
Yeah. All right. In the chat, if you have any questions for Siong that I can ask right now, drop them in and I will ask of those. The first one, though, obviously you and Meow and a few others have co-founded Jupiter. How did you and Meow meet? And more importantly, what did you think of Meow the first time that you guys met?
It's actually very funny. I mean, at this point, I think we've known each other for what, 15, 16 years right now. We met. Actually, we didn't meet. We actually we actually DM each other on this thing called Quora. I'm not sure people remember. I mean, people still use it to this day. It's a Q&A website.
Now Quora, all of a sudden.
Yeah. So like at the beginning of Quora, it's like a very small community. It's like private, like beta or something like that. So there were only like what, couple hundred people in it. So Mel was like very active. He loved writing. I mean, if you don't know him, he other than like the very excited guy in front of camera, he also loved writing. he writes a lot. Yeah. So he was writing very actively on Quora back then. Then look at his name. It's like, okay, this guy, it's like his name is very obvious. I mean, it's very obvious that it's either Singaporean or Malaysian. So I DM him, it's like, yo, are you like a Malaysian, Singaporean? And then he replied me, he's like, yeah, I'm Singaporean. Like, do you want to meet up? I was like, let's meet up. Then he flew, like I think like only a couple message in. He flew from I think SF to Chicago. I was in school back then, somewhere near Chicago. Then I went up to Chicago. Then we met up. I think like from our first message to when we first met up, it was like 2 or 3 days afterward. Yeah.
Wait,
They were
hold on,
talking
hold on.
about
You are underselling how insane this is. You guys talked on Quora, sent a few messages
Yeah.
back and forth. You guys
Yeah.
hit it off so much that he flew across the country to meet you in person.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we met. Yes, yes.
Damn. Were you worried like Chris Hansen would show up if you were still a student? Like, were you of age? Was this I don't know, was this grooming?
No, I
that
was
didn't happen
so I
or-
went to college very late. I went to college when I was like 23 or 24. Yeah, 22. Yeah. So usually when people are like graduating, that's when I went to college. Yeah.
And then did you guys, I mean, so after that, it was what, like 10 years before Jupiter actually got started then?
Yes, we started 2020. I mean, along the way, like we worked on different things together. So, I mean, one thing that people didn't know is that, like after we met, then Meow actually hired me on the spot. Like, oh, let's help me, like, help me out on this thing that I was working on back. I mean, he was working on back then. He paid me through college, like my like basically 3 years in college. He paid me through it. It was like a very good life, getting paid consistently every month, being a college student. Yeah.
That is wild, and I definitely dig it. Bullish on founders who hire the spot, meow ballin', yeah. And obviously, since then, a lot has happened since you guys kind of first. Yeah, this is a crazy kind of meeting story, but I gotta say it, legendary. So in the early days of Jupiter, it's the two of you, and then there are some other co-founders as well. Were they all similarly hired? You guys just met them on Quora and then decided to work together?
Actually, very funny. The first 6 people in the team, like, so me and Mel started, then the first 6 people in the team are like very close friends that we've been working together for the last 2-3 years. Yeah. But on different projects. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tight. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about other people that you know, but there's one other like fun thing here that people might not know is that you used to work for soon to be dictator of the universe, Mr. Sam Altman. Is that right?
Yes. So Sam, so I started a company a very long time ago. Then Sam bought the company. So I ended up working for him for I think close to a year. Yeah. I mean, I was also in college as well. Yeah.
Damn, you were really networked in college. I was just fucking getting drunk and sleeping until like 2 p.m. on the weekends. You were out here meeting titans.
No. So I mean, I was very lucky. So I got into YC, like Y Combinator, like the startup incubator, like my first year in college. Yeah, that's how I got to know. That's how I got to know like everything. Yeah.
That's so. Are you more like Meow or are you more like Sam Altman? Would you say
they are very two different people? Yeah,
but on that spectrum, if you're on
Sam,
opposite ends of the spectrum, where are you in between?
I mean, obviously, like I'm closer to Meow. Like we've known each other for 15 years. Sam was like I think like 1 year. Like we didn't talk. I mean, we didn't like keep in touch after that. Like what there was like 1 year in my life. It was very interesting. Like like Sam. Like people talk about Sam. Like they, Paul Graham wrote like this like article saying that like he's like the best top 5 founders that he likes. Like he basically put him like as the same level as like Steve Jobs and like Larry and Sergey. So like back then, and once I look at Sam's like wow, like like you are like Steve Jobs. Yeah, it's very interesting. But obviously, working with him is very different. It's like you see him every day. He's not like Steve Jobs or anyone. Yeah.
Interesting. So then, of these various products, so it sounds like you've worked on whatever, like 3, 4, 5 different products outside of Jupiter. Which has been your favorite one that you've built or helped to build?
Actually, the best thing, I mean, still like this thing called Envoy. Actually, if you're in the Bay Area, like in New York, you probably have used it before. It's like this iPad app people put at the front desk, for like office for people to check in and out. Yeah, it's actually quite cool. Like seeing people using it like every day. Yeah.
So like,
I mean, I love building products that people can use like in real life. It's actually very cool to see like people interacting with it, people like using it, like yeah.
Wow, it's shocking that you got into crypto then. But that's a little stand-up comedy
from like an enterprise software guy to like a crypto guy. Yes.
And I guess the last question, I know we got to move on, but I am just interested because I also don't know all these kind of things, even though we've known each other for a bit here. Do you also trade? Like, are you also a degenerate trader?
I wish, but so I've been spending the last 2 days. I'm traveling right now, so I've been spending the last 2 days on my phone, trading on Ape Pro. It's actually very fun. I just doing it, getting feedbacks and everything. Yeah.
Have you made any
Actually,
money
the
in
last 3 days. No.
Okay,
Actually,
good.
at one
Either have
point
I.
I was up 2x. Then I went from 2x to like nothing. Yeah. But I think
A
I think
familiar
I think I
story.
know I think I know the trick right now. I think I know the trick. I think I can get from where I'm at right now back to 2x, maybe 10x. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what every single fucking trader in the history of trading thinks. It's like, oh yeah, I went from 2x to 0, but I
No,
can
no,
definitely
no,
make it
no,
back for
no.
sure.
I
I'm gonna
think I
make it
can
back.
do it. I think I can do it. I think I can do it.
As G says, all you need is some leverage. Just toss in some leverage. That'll make it easy. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea. You should do a trading live stream on Ape Pro. I think that could actually be pretty
On
cool.
April, yeah. Maybe one day,
Yeah.
one day I'll do it.
This is the hardest trick in the known universe, DMX. Anyway, all right. So hopefully I don't know, do people enjoy that? Should we do more like little interviews, little profiles of Jupiter folks in the future? Drop a little W for me in the chat if you dug it. And if people did, then we'll do more of these
Yeah,
going
I mean,
forward.
I think we should definitely do it. There are so many, team members that different story to share and how it comes to building products in crypto. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that and there's more W's in the chat than I can literally click. It's happening too fast. But hopefully somebody else could help me with it. Oh, shout out to my guy Ben Liu in the chat here as well. All right. Well, with that fun little mini podcast out of the way, let's get into the rest of the show. In case you haven't been here before, let me tell you how this works. This is the Planetary Call. We have a very clear purpose here. We help celebrate the people, the products, and the partners that make the Jubiverse what it is. We do not talk about token price on this call at all. But instead, we focus on stories like you just heard from Siong, as well as a lot of the kind of major improvements happening across the Jubiverse. A lot of things are happening on any given week. And our goal here is to kind of consolidate, give it to you so that you can feel as excited as I am, as Siong is, and as other cadets are. This is the 30th time that we are doing this, which is pretty wild to me. Onwards to the next 300, I say. Bring May next. May, if you're watching, you have some fans. We want to hear some stories of Jupiter from you. All right. Well, with that said, where's our Cryptic? Where's our side cam? Unfortunately, I am a broke boy. As you just heard, I lost all my money meme trading. And so I can't afford a second camera. That was Prado's second camera, sadly. Anyway, that is the kind of purpose that we're here to discuss. You might be asking, well, what is the Jubiverse? In case it's your first time here. If it's your first time here, actually drop a little W into the chat. I want to know if we're still picking up new viewers as we go through this. But the Jubiverse is really three things, right? It is one, Jupiter, the platform. So you're going to hear a bunch of product updates that have happened from within the team recently. And that way you can kind of understand what's going on. Of course, the platform Jupiter across all these different dimensions, the goal is simple: aggregate everything. Then we have JUP, the token, which is kind of the alignment vehicle for everything that happens across the Jubiverse. We won't be talking about that specifically today, but in general, the simple tagline in your head: there is no cap. That is the line of the day. And then finally, there is the JUP, which is the community. That's the DAO, that's the working groups, that's everybody who's on this call right now, the users, the team, etc. And we definitely will be hearing from a bunch of these folks as well. OPAX is not new. Yeah, OPAX was like on the second ever call. OPAX, what are you doing? All right, we got an important question from Jay Bonehead here. Let's just answer this right now because I've seen it 18 times in the chat already. When is Jupiter Mobile coming to Android, brother?
It's actually in the work right now. Yeah, I can share a little bit more about Android and the progress later. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're gonna have to give us.
I mean, it's actually crazy that we are on call 30 right now. It's like time flies. Insane.
Yeah. You're telling me, dude. I'm the one who's doing this every fucking week. It's melting my brain in many different ways. Anyway, all right. And we have a special bounty. Speaking of Jupiter Mobile, we have a special bounty. Just came up with this idea, 20 minutes ago or so. There's gonna be a 500 JUP bounty for the most creative review of Jupiter Mobile in the iOS store. Take that as it is. Maybe you write a haiku or a poem. Maybe you do a little stand-up special. I don't know. It's up to you. Whatever is the most creative review, we're going to pick 10 people and give them each 50 JUP. So a fun little way to help everybody who wants to find the app. That'll help boost it in the App Store. Help yourself get a little bit of extra JUP to you. This is a good one. So find that on earn.superteam.fun, where you can submit a screenshot of what your view was. All right. With that out of the way, I think we are officially ready to talk about the agenda. We're going to go through the wins of the week. There's a bunch of them. It is a banger. June, you know we got POAPs on deck for every call. That's for sure. Shout out to the JUP POAP freak on Twitter. Keeping track of all of them. Then we have some product updates, big ones this time around. We got Jupiter Mobile, obviously. We have Perps, and we have Dove, which I think, in my personal opinion, one of the most underappreciated major updates from the Jupiverse lately. So we're going to hear from Omer and the team on how that's come together. Then you guys have been asking for it for weeks, if not months now. But, you know, it takes time to bake the perfect cake. Especially when it's as complicated as multi-chain claims, centralized exchange claims, and so on as deBridge. But we are going to have the founder and CEO of deBridge, Alex himself, coming to tell you all about the DBR token and what the plans are there. And then, of course, we will have the closing POAP for all my friends out there. Let's see if we can finish this call in 60 minutes. We'll find out.
Is that the goal, like for every call?
That was the goal early on. And then me and Meow had a big fight about it. And he was like, just let it go. And I said, Meow, you rascal. I can't get mad at you. And so now we just kind of let them go free flow. But now when the Meow is away, the cash will be on time. That's the as the famous saying goes. So yeah, let's see if I could do it. All right. Let's kick it off right here with wins of the week. As I pull this up, let's see. All right. Wins of the week. Here's all the big news from around the Jupiverse in the last 7 days. Number one, the vote to utilize excess JUP for Jupiary has concluded. If you are excited about ASR being renewed, drop a little W for me in the chat. ASR is now extended for a full another year, which means active staking rewards for everybody that votes in Jupiter governance are on the way. This is a very fun one. I was really hoping this vote would pass personally because I think it's a great way to grow the pie. It really embodies that J for J mentality, right? Putting more JUP in the hands of people who are adding value to the Jupiter ecosystem. And if I had to take a look at the chat, it seems like they agree as well. As a reminder, there will be an extra 15 million JUP that's going to go right back to, or it's going to be sent to for the first time to the community multi-sig. Siong, did you vote for this proposal?
Yes. I think you know, like it's a very cool thing to see how the community comes along to like make sure that you know, like, I mean, one thing that it will make sure that you know, we are currently one of the, actually not one, we are the most active DAO out there with like so many people voting. Yeah. And it's actually very cool to see like these are the things that people want. Yeah.
I think it is also great. As somebody asked in the chat, what is the ASR allocation calculation? Hard to say in advance. It'll depend on a few factors: how much you vote, how many other people voted, and how many proposals there were. So it's hard to say in advance exactly. I think last time it was something like for every JUP you had, if you voted on every proposal, you got another 0.3 JUP back, something like that, 0.2 JUP back. So we'll see if that.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure we have time. Maybe we can bring like Soju here to talk about it a little bit. But I think we will share more details about it next week. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The claim is upcoming for the next one from this past quarter as well. Speaking of wins, here's another win. Oh, sorry, I'm being. It was about 18% now. If you never missed a vote, thank you to Scarlett and Molu for correcting me in the chat there. The second win of the week. Everything Jupiter, all in one place. Jupiter portfolio is here. You know, there are other protocols and other teams out there where this would be like the main announcement for weeks at a time. In Jupiter, it's kind of like gotten lost in the shuffle. So I wanted to make sure we talked about it here because I think it's pretty fucking sick, actually. Big shout out to the Solana FM team who built this all. But now within one little widget, one little view, you can actually see all of your orders across swap, limit orders, DCA, value average, and perps in a single unified UI. And actually, Siong, you and I had a little bit to do with this product back in the day. You want to tell the story of where this originated?
Yeah, so basically, Cash, me, and Nick from Solana FM, before we acquired the team, we were talking about it in April in Istanbul. So we have a dinner together. We were telling Nick like you should build this thing. That we really need this thing, like whatever. Then I think Nick went back started like playing around it. Then I think 2 or 3 months later, we decided to like, why don't we just work together on this thing? Like, since you have all the infra for us to build this thing, and we need the portfolio features on Jupiter as well. So it's like, okay, like let's do this thing together. Yeah.
That's pretty good. The two things I remember from that dinner that was part of the genesis here was one, Nick, like we're eating fucking kebabs and pita bread and all this other weird stuff. And Nick pulls out a full fucking like notebook, old school, and is like writing down in the note, scribbling furiously the whole time, which is when I was like, this guy's a killer. Obviously, if he's taking it this seriously this late at night. And the second was, it was the three of us, and then there was one stray cat. If you remember, that kept trying to eat all of our food and was like sleeping at the table. So really, the cat deserves some. It was a sign, right? There was a cat at the table at a meeting that for a team that got acquired by Jupiter. Like something cosmic in the universe was happening there, which is pretty cool, I think. Casual Nicholas W. Yeah, shout out to the Solana FM team for putting this one together. I'm not going to show you a live demo right now because I don't want you to see all the money that I'm losing.
But this is actually cool though. Like there are a lot more things that we can build based on this. I think one thing that people have been asking is like notifications. Like now we can like now we are tracking all these things. We're seeing things coming in live. We can actually start like, pushing out like notifications, some other features as well. I think will be very cool. Yeah.
Big things en route when you have chats like Solana FM or the former Solana FM team, now just the Jupiter team coming along as well. W for the hungry street cat, says Danica. Yeah, without that cat, I don't know what would have happened here. The next win, the first ever product stream happened featuring the Jupiter team themselves. Give me a little W in the chat if you watched this stream. Siong was on it himself, so this is a double dose of Siong this week if you were there. But it was great just to see the engineers kind of casually chatting about a bunch of improvements across all these different products. Xian was the host along with Siong and YY, and they just had a bunch of other folks come in. I see a lot of the Planetary Call faithful were there as well, which is what we love to see. There's no doubting it. They're just becoming, the whole team is worth a follow. The whole team is becoming kind of public and working in public, which I think is a critical piece of the kind of Jupiter ethic over here. W. Over
actually, this is actually very cool. Like, people have been talking about like, you can build like, in GitHub, show your code and everything. I feel like the coolest thing that we are trying to do here is like other than just like showing your code, we are like showing you the process as well. Like what are we building, like how we are thinking about it, and like obviously we want the feedback from the users, and each team member can participate as well. Like usually with many products, like obviously there's a team, like a product leader on everything. The cool thing about this, like then, like now the product leader can start like coming on stage, talking to like the user directly, share the process, share the thought process behind it, like why we are like building this thing. Like, it was amazing to me to see like how it works, and like, obviously Xian has been like, amazing as well. Yeah.
Shout out to Xian. Shout out to everybody else on the team.
It's actually very funny. The first time I met Xian, she was very drunk as well. I think we should do like a super drunk planetary call. Let's see how it happens and see what.
You would actually be super fun. We should do like a power hour where every minute we have to do a shot of beer and try to like
every W we take a shot. Everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe every 100 W we take a shot.
This I like. We'll do it with actual soju as well. So it'll be soju himself.
Yes. Take a soju shot.
Casual Wednesday night drug. I now see why you've not come on the Planetary Call too many times before. You're a bad influence, Siong. You're trying to get us all drunk out here.
No. I stopped drinking for like 3 months, but I started again like last month after the whole breakpoint thing. It was a moment worth celebrating.
The moment before you stepped on stage was when you started drinking again. You're like, I need 2 shots of whiskey to calm my nerves, basically. All right. Let's keep going here. There's more wins. Yeah, OPAC is going to spam W's. We're going to be in some real trouble on that one. Every time Meows, actually, here's my actual ask to someone in the community: make a Planetary Call bingo sheet of all the different things that happen a lot on here, and then each time we cross one out, we take a drink. That'll be easier because otherwise W's will kill us. But yeah, guys is a nice one, and a few others we got to cut through here as well. All right. Next up on the win side, again, we're still in the kind of product world. A lot of big things happen on the product side, but I think this is the scientific term. Fuck ton of improvements were shipped to limit orders and to lock. Sam, do you want to talk about the limit orders improvements here? I think maybe like, I know you talked about this at length on the product stream, so maybe the 30-second version of what improved over on this one.
It's actually not crazy. Like the way we do it is that like before that, one keeper, like we call it cat keeper. Now we are running more cat keepers right now to process all the orders. And when we first launched it, it's actually very funny. Like we didn't expect it to have so much volume, so many orders coming in. But now, like like I think the last time we checked, we have like close to 100,000 active orders that we need to like monitor. Yeah. So obviously, like I think it's like 77,000, 78,000 or something like that. Yeah. So obviously we need more keepers running to make sure that monitoring the 77,000 orders that that we have. Yeah.
Pretty insane. 77. Do you know how much like dollar volume goes through limit orders on a daily basis right now or a weekly basis?
Actually, someone just asked me a question today. Like we were looking into it. Like now it's actually not crazy. I think it's like 5-10 million. Obviously, it really depends. But it's more volatile, more volume going in. But normal day is like 5 to 10. Yes.
Yeah, we need something on the bingo sheet for anytime Siong undersells. 5 to 10 million per day is actually, that is some real volume. I know Mr. Perps over here doing $600 million a day doesn't think it's too big, but 5 to 10 million is a substantial amount of numbers. And that's pretty sick. So it's great to see that getting better so that things actually get closed quicker. There were some problems before, solved now, or at least getting better now. And then on the lock side, for anyone who wants to lock their tokens, it's been really cool to see people in the meme coin community in particular just adopting this to kind of show long-term alignment. You can lock your tokens if you're a project founder and you want to lock your team's tokens for vesting or whatever else. Now you have squads, multi-sig signing, as well as a bunch of UI, UX fixes that make things better. Shout out to Arzine, anyhow, and Xian for pushing this one forward. Yeah, OPEX thinks that's high. 5-10 million is, yeah, I'm glad the chat, I'm not the only one that's like, no, 5-10 million is actually a fair amount here. That's pretty good. Just on one product out of like the million that we have. All right, next one, steady lads, we are aping. Ape Pro is, can I break news? I hope I can break news. Joe, please don't kill me if you're watching this. Ape Pro should be coming out next week. People should have a chance to start to see it and play around with it, but a bunch of great things are happening on the back end. Ape has been out for a little while, as people will remember, as a new way to kind of like buy meme coins with a secure vault that'll automatically retry, figure out your slippage, do all the Jupiter lifestyle improvements. But Ape.pro is next level shit. This is being built by the CoinHall team. I've seen it myself. Let me tell you, can I show it or no? I shouldn't show it, actually. Joe will actually kill me if I show it. But there are real-time charts. The second tokens are created in Pump or anywhere else, they show up. The second they graduate off of Pump and into Radium, it shows up there. Bunch of cool tools around it. Some rich data filtering, dev cheating on the timeline, which is pretty nice. Telegram support, and a bunch of other things happening soon. I'm telling you this now so you can get excited, folks, because big things are going to be coming over on Ape Pro. And then I think this is the last one. Yeah, the final win.
One thing that's very cool about Ape Pro is that like seeing the team building it is amazing. Like I think we started talking to CoinHall team around the same time we were talking to FM team as well. Actually, the process behind it is also very messy. Like me and Meow was like, oh, like should we do this? Should we like think about it? Like but it's always fun to see like how everything is like coming together right now. Like the FM team handling the data and some of the projects that we're working on. Then CoinHall team is like going into it. We really want to like do this thing. I mean, we launched Ape Pro, like the very first V1 of it. Then we see there are so many things that we could have done with adding more features to it and adding all this thing to it. So when we started talking to the CoinHall team, we're like, oh, like why don't you guys do this thing, like evolve the original Ape product to the Ape Pro product. And they started working on it. Like I think whatever you're going to see next week is basically what they work on. Like it's like a month or 2 months. It was like very impressive on how much work they put in. Yeah.
They are shipping. Those boys know how to ship. That is one thing I know for sure. Yeah, so much new stuff. That is a fact. This is very cool. I'll also say, as a little side note, because you can log in with your Gmail on Ape Pro, you can actually use it on your like phone's Safari or Chrome browser. And so I've been trading shitcoins everywhere, and I won't tell you everywhere that I've been trading them, which is nice. I've been losing money everywhere, which is not as fun. But yeah, it's super smooth and works really nicely. I think it's pretty great. People are excited. Cruz is excited. I'm excited as well. All right, and then the last win of this week. Gotta shout out the Uplink homies and shout out to everybody who subscribed to the YouTube channel. The Jupiter YouTube channel has crossed 10,000 subscribers. Obviously, it's one step on a much longer journey, but this now puts us in the top 1.7% of all YouTube channels around the world. And there's a lot of people who are doing YouTube, folks. There are millions and millions of channels. This is not a small deal. Growth on YouTube, notoriously difficult, but it is because of all the great work on the Uplink Working Group. Seb, Pedro, Clouds, OG, Srijani, and all the other creators that have been helping as well, Adele, Yotapun, and many others, Order Rums, and so on, that have helped make this happen. So shout out to everybody out here who's been making it, who's been supporting, liking the videos, sharing them, and so on and so forth. Let's see. I was on vacation. I would like to see, I don't know what that's all about. Uplink is killing it. Appreciate all y'all. The numbers are.
I mean, we have to close it with like what all the YouTubers always say. It's like, remember, click subscribe. Like what? Something.
Smash that like button. Hit subscribe. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I'm basically a YouTuber now, sadly. Folks, I do have a day job, by the way. I run Super Team. It's a whole thing. I'm not just a live streamer. Anyway, but like, don't you dare call me a fucking KOL, or I'll come for you. Anyway, make Siong the influencer. Where I'm working on it, View. Shout out to View, by the way, as well. All right. Those are it for the wins of the week. As you can tell, there were a bunch of them. Let's talk about some product updates now. Some new things that are happening across the JUPiverse. Of course, number one with a bullet. Thousands and thousands of people are excited on Twitter. There are downloads happening across the world, which is pretty amazing. It is, of course, Jupiter Mobile. Siong, for anybody that missed it, what can you tell them about JUP Mobile?
Yeah, first thing before everything, go to App Store if your iPhone, download it. Like if you have siblings around you, your parents, your wife, whatever, grab their phone, download it as well. Your parents, whatever. Make sure they all download it. I think that's the number one thing. And the second thing is, obviously the video is quite cool. You can go to the website to see what we've been doing. But let's I think one thing that's very cool, the product. When we're working, obviously we bought the Ultimate Team. 6 months right now, 5 months right now. We're not doing nothing over the 5 months. We actually built so many things over the last 5 months. The app was at one point quite feature complete, but the thing is that there are nothing there that really make us think that it's a very compelling features. I think everything is there, but nothing is great. So I think the last month, Meow basically went in and said, "Yo, let's strip everything down to make Jupiter great, right? Like the swapping experience." So we basically strip the browser out, like whatever, a lot of graph, like whatever out. Then we basically zoom in into the swap experience to see what are the things that we can make better, right? Then we realized that obviously very easy on RAM is one thing that we need to work on. Obviously shout out to like MoonPay. They've been very helpful on all front, making sure that the design, the experience is there, the easy on ramp with Apple Pay, Android, Google Pay, and also credit cards. Actually their team is amazing. One thing that is very cool is seeing them anytime we run into any on ramp problem, they will even send their designer, send their engineer, let's brainstorm this together. Their designer will come in, this is the mock-up. What do you think about this? Is it better? Or the engineer will come in, what's the problem? How can I help and everything? It's actually one of the coolest thing out there, doing full on a developer experience, not just telling you what to do, but hands on, sending the engineer, sending the designer, making sure that everything is working. Then the second thing is the swapping experience. Actually, one thing that's very cool coming out from this 1 month of intense focus on making the swap great is that we learn so many things, right? We realized that actually this is very funny as well. We realize how much improvement that we can make to make the swap better, right? What kind of CPH we can set, how far what kind of price impact per swap. What is the best CPH to set? What's the priority fees when the network is congested? Then obviously even setting all these things, right? Sometimes the transaction will fail as well. So we added smart retry to make sure that if the transaction fail, we retry again with better more lax settings. I think it's actually very funny. Since now, decided to jump on working on the swap experience, every day, he would just yo, this token is I cannot swap this token. Then the whole mobile team will jump into it, and also the swap API team will just jump into it, to figure out what's the problem. But obviously the experience is better right now. Everything is there. Yeah.
I think
There's
it's
so
pretty
many
cool.
things that we learn from it. Yeah.
There's a lesson there just for anyone who's here who's working on a product right now as well, to kind of think about what is the actual value proposition of this product and how do we make that as sharp and clear as possible, which is a useful lesson. But there are a bunch of questions in here as well, Siong, that we got to answer. So the first one: when notification of price movements?
Yeah, that's one thing that we're thinking about it as well. I think the next focus right now is working on trending to make sure that we surface what tokens that are popular. Then after that, we will work on the notifications and all these things as well. And I think another features that people have been asking is how about all other limit order VA, DCA can be incorporated into the app as well. Yeah.
I'm very eager for those.
And obviously
myself.
Android is actually there. I think Android is coming out next week. Yeah. I mean, over the
Shout
last
out
24 hours.
I was hoping I would trick you into saying it. I didn't know if you were actually going to say it out loud and put a date on it. Ben Liu, if you're watching this, best of luck, brother. I hope that you're coming through, because now Siong has promised it in public. Everybody will spam Ben Liu when Android if it does not come out next week. That is now the rule. And now let this also be shown. I'm not selective with my comments. I'm a man of the people. We select everybody. That's when it's going to be coming on Google Play. Oh, a question about Saga. It doesn't work on Saga yet, huh? I guess it will after the Android release, presumably.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What is the security used on the JUP mobile app? Asks Shehzad.
So it's actually very interesting. So everything is native. We make sure that we also achieve the whole app is also audited as well. We have an auditor go through all the code, making sure that it's safe and everything. Yeah.
Is there? I know that there's something about the enclave technology, so nothing ever leaves the phone, right?
That depends on the operating system. Yeah. But obviously for iOS it's a lot easier. It's a very lockdown system. For Android it's slightly tricky because there are so many different versions of Android out there. Yeah.
Makes sense. And how does the security compare to other wallets? Asks Mola.
I to be honest, I'm not sure how other wallets do it. But obviously the way we do it is we make sure that everything is safe. Yeah.
Can I export my private keys in case I lose the phone? I believe so. It's non-custodial wallet.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. It is your keys, your crypto at all times. A little technical question here. Was it built with Swift or React Native? Do you know?
Okay, this is actually a very cool thing. A lot of people, when they build the app, they want to be fast and be fast and also one code base, then they can launch on both iOS and Android. This is one thing that we didn't do. We decided to build in for iOS in Swift and for Android in Kotlin. So everything's native, so the experience is a lot faster. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. There you go, Brian. I hope you like that. Can we trade perps on JUP Mobile? The answer is not yet, but soon?
Actually, there's one thing that I've been wondering as well, what people think about is so should we launch a full focus a perps Jupiter perps app, or should we incorporate it as part of the Jupiter app?
Let us know. People, do you want it inside perps in the Jupiter app or a separate perps app? Let us know in the chat right now. I think my own opinion is in one single app because I just like to tap in one place and have all my trading happen there. But let's see. Incorporate one app. Wait, let's pull these up. Just a few Jupiter incorporated. Let's see. Part of the Jupiter app. Yeah, it seems pretty consensus over here. If it is possible, of course. Michael says inside.
Yeah. Sometimes it can get complicated as well because perp is very different comparing to swapping and all these things. How do you make sure that maybe we can become one of those a super app.
Maybe that's people in the chat, but it is literally unanimous in the chat about putting it in one app, which is pretty interesting here. Gustavo, don't worry. We're going to hear from Alex on the DBR token launch in just a few minutes, so you have not missed that yet. I'd say get limit orders and a few tokens rolling before, says Soul Daddy. I think I would probably agree. The limit orders from a normal spot experience ends up being pretty essential as well. Very cool. All right. Is there anything else that we want to say about Jupiter Mobile here? As a question to you,
Yeah,
Siong.
I think okay, yeah, I think yeah. I mean, obviously, like I say, if you haven't download it. Like, and also like I think one thing that after stripping down all the features, like actually a lot of things that are ready, we can immediately put it in. Let us know what you think and let us know what you want to see in the mobile app.
There it is. They take feedback a lot here. And as a reminder, in case you just came to the call, there is a 500 JUP bounty out for the 10 most creative reviews, 50 JUP each. Let you be your own guide. I don't know how you want to do it, but we'll make sure to take some screenshots. You can submit that on Super Team Earn as well. All right, so that's on. Let me speed run everything here. Well, too much speed. Went too fast. That is Jupiter Mobile. The other major product side, and I saw a few comments about this in the chat as well, is Perps V2. What can you tell people about Perps V2, Siong?
Yes, they're actually taking longer than I thought. But it's a good thing though. It's a good thing because
Said
now
every developer ever, by the way. Yeah.
But it's a good thing. I think one thing that we decided to change is like a deployment process. Before that, everything went through one auditor. But now we are adding more auditors because we want to make sure that all the changes that we are pushing out are not just going through one. Like now, every changes that we are pushing out is actually going through at least two auditors. So that's one thing that we're making sure of. I think another thing that's actually quite tricky is that like obviously when we launch if you want to launch gasless transactions, people will start like spamming it because it's free, right? So like we've been thinking about how to make sure that like it's gasless, but people are not going to abuse it. Yeah, so that's one thing. Obviously
What
the
is the
DOF
leading
Oracle.
contender there right now?
Sorry, for
Like what
gasless.
what is the leading contender to prevent the spamming of the gasless?
Yes. So what we are thinking right now is that for things that are critical, we allow gasless. For things that we know that people will spam, we will actually charge a little bit of the fees. Yeah. So at least they will pay for it. So it will be a mixture of gasless transaction and gas transactions. Yeah.
Chipman, I agree. I like this guy too. Okay, so limit orders on purpose coming soon, which I think is fantastic and something that people have been asking about since I don't know when. Obviously, it increases the technical complexity quite a bit to do this on chain. And then we were supposed to have Omer here from Chaos Labs. Unfortunately, he couldn't actually stick around. So maybe Siong, you can talk a little bit about the Dove Oracle standard that is starting to power this.
Yes.
Kind of new generation of Perps.
Yeah, I'm not I'm not sure everyone saw the Alma like Kiosk Lab announcement. Like I think during Breakpoint as well, they're launching their own Oracle standards to power all the chains. So we've been working with them for the last almost like we started engagement a lot earlier on the risk parameter settings and all these things. On the Oracle front, we've been working with them for the last 3 months right now. Like actually a lot of things have been very helpful. They are the one who are powering data on the price chart right now. There's a lot more performance, like things are a lot faster. Then the second thing is like obviously they are very good at like price data. But they are it's their first time working on Solana. So we decided to come up with this like new Oracle verification protocol called DOF. Basically the way it works is that anyone can use any price data signed by any price provider. In this particular case, Edge from Kiosk Lab. So we basically pull the price data from Edge provided by them. Then we verify the data on chain on Solana. Then we use it on the perpetual product. Everything's actually quite simple. But the cool thing about simplicity is that you actually get rid of a lot of problems that we used to have. Like on the older Oracle, it's quite unstable when the chain is congested. The proof is a lot bigger. So to submit a price update, it will take one transaction. And for Perps, we require 5 different oracles, so it will take 5 transactions to update the prices. The cool thing about DOF is that we can update all the prices with one transaction, so it makes a lot of things easier. Yeah.
That's what we call a significant fucking innovation, folks. This is again the bingo card of Siong underselling it of what's going on here behind the scenes. This is like a massive
but it's actually
improvement
very
over
cool.
time.
It's very cool. It's very cool. One thing that we noticed since the deployment of it, obviously before that, our success rates on we monitor all the transaction on the Perps. Our success rate is about like 95%. With this deployment, it goes up to like 99%. Basically, nothing failed because of Oracle at all. And most of the case that they are failing right now is like slippage, all these different things like they're supposed to fail. But obviously, 95 to 99% is not a big improvement. But the cool thing is like during congested time, before that we will see like 95% go down to like 10-20% because no one can submit Oracle update at all because the chain was so congested. But with these new Oracle standards DAF, we are still seeing 99% even during chain congestion time. It's actually very cool.
But I mean, it's a pretty major upgrade. And again, for people who don't know, Jupiter Perps does somewhere between whatever $200 million and $800 million a day in volume. So this is massive. This is infrastructure used by a lot of people, and a lot of volume goes through it. So these kind of improvements make a big difference. It says open data for anyone on Solana to use. Does this mean that anybody can use the Dove Oracle standard?
Yes. That's actually a very cool thing as well. So the Dove Oracle is a very simple proof verification framework. The cool thing about this is that if you have a signed data anywhere else that you want to prove on chain, you can use it as well. Actually, we are working on some other people to see whether they can use it to prove their price as well.
Pretty cool. I mean, there are multiple billion-dollar protocols that just do this, and now Dove is coming to you. Just as a little gift from Jupiter, which is pretty cool. Let's answer a few questions from the chat here. The first one is the timeline. Do we have a timeline on when limit orders on Perps are going to be live?
Yeah. I hate promise timeline because usually it's like I'm the one who, making not hitting it. Yeah. But hopefully
Okay.
2 weeks from now, maybe by the end of this month. Yeah.
End of the month. All right, that's nice. You give yourself some extra time here. Somebody asked, will Perps get more trading pairs? This is a question that comes up a lot, actually. Maybe we can take this opportunity once for all. We can roll the clip cameras. Why does Jupiter Perps, as good as it is, only have 3 trading pairs? Why doesn't it have more?
It's actually very tricky to add more trading pairs because we want to make sure that the J.U.P performs as what it is today. Adding more trading pairs into it will definitely mess up the dynamic of J.U.P a little bit. But we're working on something. Yeah, might not be like 20, might not be 100x leverage, but we might be able to offer certain leverage on certain tokens. Yes.
My understanding of it is that these perps can be affected by spot prices. So if you're using smaller assets that have smaller amounts of volume, that can be manipulated and cause people to really mess with the system on the higher liquidity or when you have a lot of leverage. And JLP holders are counter trading basically everyone who uses the platform. And so you want to have this nice balance between the two. So you introduce new risk. Vog has a question here about any. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You want to finish that off?
Actually, this is also very cool as well because exactly this point. That's why we are capping the AUM right now. Because one thing that we notice is that our Solana trading pair is I think it's like 20 or 30% across all future trading platform, including centralized changes and decentralized changes. It's actually quite big it's actually quite big at this point right now. That's why we decided not to keep growing the volume there so that we don't get too big. One thing that's very scary is because the way the Perps is being built is that it will provide close to unlimited liquidity for anyone to open the positions. We are working on a few things to make sure that we can make it even safer. Before we increase the AUM again.
When will the cap be upped next, you think? Is I guess you want to make things safer, as you just said. Just
until everything's until we can put in more a feature to make sure that it's safer. Yes.
There we go. And then somebody asked, will Dove have a token? No, I'll just tell you that right now. I haven't even asked anybody about it. I just know that it's not going to have a token. It's not going to have a token like Pith. This is a JUP service for the world, which is pretty cool, I think. All right, so up the cap. Everybody wants the cap to go up, obviously, because J.U.P is great, I will say. Do your own research, et cetera, et cetera. But so that's Perps V2. That's the update. A lot of people have been asking for it for a while. So we have limit orders coming very soon, hopefully before the end of the month. It's a little extra technical stuff. The gasless transactions, which is pretty sick. But the big one, at least in my humble opinion, you go from 5 transaction updates for the oracles to just a single one, which means even during congested times, which is when you want to take leverage the most, right? That's when people want to trade the most, is when things are really volatile. Now, JUP Perps got even better, which is great. Okay, let's see if there are any other questions in here. Yep, as Sold Nede is saying, focus on limit orders and oracle performance before increasing demands on the Perps exchange. Got to make sure the product is right. Got to make sure it's well balanced before it goes any further. Okay, this is actually the second or third time this question got asked. When is the premium for JLP going to disappear?
I don't know. Usually it really depends on the market. That's also one of the reasons that we decided not to cap it. In the early days, when we kept the AUM, premium usually will go up a lot. But it's exactly what's happening right now. I think it's unfair for the new JLP holder decided to like go into the market to buy JLP right now. But there are things that we have to make sure right now before we can increase it. Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. J for J, boys. It says Jesse. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to everybody else who's been sticking with us. Some nice, juicy product updates this time around. I hope you will agree. And with that said, we're going to move into our last section of the call today, the LFG Launchpad section. So now this is everyone bombarding Siong with a lot of wins. That's right. People have been waiting. This is one of the most eagerly anticipated token launches that I've seen in a little while on Solana. One, because the product is pretty great. People like to use the product. And two, because the team is pretty cracked as well. And here we have the lead of the team. Drop a little JM in the chat for my guy, Alex from deBridge. Alex, how are you feeling, sir?
Hey, guys. Yeah, it's great to be here. For me, it's the second Planetary call. The first one was right before the LFG voting, where deBridge won. And this is the second one right before LFG launch. That is about to happen next Tuesday. Note it down in your calendars. So super excited. Just want to say, Jupiter has been one of the best and biggest partners, and not only Jupiter team, but also community. I think that Jupiter community was the first to understand really the model that we were building on in deBridge, where we don't use liquidity pools, but instead we use cross-chain intents. It's like zero TVA based design, where there is no bottleneck of the locked liquidity. And it was hard to explain this model to anyone. People were telling us, look, this is not going to work. Liquidity pools is a status quo for bridging. People are willing to wait for 15, 20 minutes. And I think that Jupiter community and Solana community was the first to really understand that DeFi does not wait, that we should connect users, on-chain addresses, protocols, and liquidity in real time. It's like an internet, We cannot afford waiting. We need that first mover advantage. We all are impassioned. We want to be fast because fast is fun. And it's great to see that, protocol and this approach has getting more and more mindshare, attention, and adoption as well. And plus, Jupiter community is the pro user. I was just checking the points leaderboard for the second season, and Jupiter DAO is #1, and it got 3 times more points than the second place on the leaderboard. It's insane. So yeah, you guys are doing an amazing job, and people like to use deBridge, and I see that many trades are coming from the widget integration on the website. So it's amazing, and in deBridge, we're getting a ton of inspiration from Jupiter team, because you guys are pushing the limits and setting new standards for UX and for the quality of product. So yeah, we really appreciate that, and taking the example from the best builders in the space. So yeah.
We like to see, man. Yeah, deBridge, obviously, as a product, has had ridiculous kind of traction as of late. Maybe for anyone who doesn't know, you kind of explained a little bit how it works. The zero TVL model, much more secure, cannot be hacked in the way that many other bridges have been hacked. Works much faster. With this kind of more secure model and these higher speeds, what kind of usage are you guys seeing right now? What are the volumes looking like?
Yeah, so you can check the stats in explore.dbridge.finance. Everything is super transparent. And even after a snapshot, even after the start of season 2, we still see like good growth and really awesome traction. So yeah, deBridge crossed more than $4 billion in the total volume, and it became the biggest bridge economy. So yeah, this is the right number that you highlighted there.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous here. 500,000 unique users. Pretty incredible stuff. So the people, they like the deBridge. And that's why people are very excited about the deBridge token as well. So let's talk a little bit about how that is coming together now, Alex. So the token launch, you said, next Tuesday. What can you tell the people about how that is going to work?
So yes, if you open deBridge Foundation website, you can see the timeline for the launch. So the next very important step will be the LFG launch, which is happening like 8 a.m. UTC on Tuesday, October 15th. And the token launch is a very important step, toward decentralization of deBridge, because we have built the biggest bridge economy. And even if you check like the 24-hour stats on Explorer, like the protocol during the last 24 hours has processed more than $22 million of volume. And that all volume is organic, because the protocol charges fee. It's not like we are the free bridge that is that provides like zero fee cross-chain transfers. No, deBridge always charged fee from the day one. That's why we don't have like any wash trading. All the volume is organic, coming from partners and from our users. Basically, users pay for decentralization and security, because bridge also probably one of the only bridges that not had any incidents or like discovered vulnerability. So yeah, token is like the step toward decentralizing the governance, and it's time to pass control over the protocol to token holders. The LFG launch is on Tuesday, and it's quite unique. Like, it's very different to the previous LFG launches. And again, big shout out to you guys for the feedback, and to Soju, who helped to tailor this model. So we don't have any bonding curve in this launch, and we decided to make this launch to be very exclusive, because like deBridge does not really need to capitalize, because it generates some decent revenue. So the goal of this launch is to give a chance to loyal users and to Jupiter community to participate, to become like early stakeholders in deBridge governance, and to be on the token price before trading starts on October 17th. So the idea of this launch is that there's a whitelist, right? It's a very exclusive event. Only users who interact with the protocol at 10 different days are eligible to participate, and also top 10% of those who stake JUP. Basically, if you stake more than 690 Jupiter tokens at the moment of snapshot, then you should be eligible. And you can open up deBridge.foundation website to check your eligibility by simply like connecting your wallet. Second principle that we followed here is equality. Like, all the terms are equal for everyone. There is no bonding curve. The price is the same, 2.5 cents per DBR. And anyone will be like, any eligible address will be able to bid during the 24-hour time window that starts on Tuesday and will finish 24 hours after. So yeah, the price is the same for everyone, and there is a cap, $25,000 per address, and also $5 million cap on the entire pool. So in case you secure more deposits, the DBR will be distributed pro rata, like 2% of the total supply is distributed here. And there is a vesting, like 50% is unlocked on day one, and another half is unlocked 6 months after LFG is finished. So yeah, that's basically how the LFG is designed, this LFG launch. And the trading starts like 48 hours after the start of LFG. That will be October 17th, 8 a.m. UTC time. And the trading opens at $300 million FDV, so basically 3 cents. And yeah, big shout out to Meteora team, because we use Meteora dynamic pool for the start of the trading, and the liquidity we provided are in advance, but the pool activates exactly on October 17th. The interesting thing here is that trading starts across all the venues simultaneously, like centralized exchanges, on-chain venues as well. So the price discovery happens naturally, and like users are free to choose like what venue they will pick to trade. But we of course rooting to bring more users on chain, so you guys should use Jupiter because the
Here's your $20,
trades will be,
for saying that. Yeah, that's definitely the right way to go. This is pretty cool. And then I think this liquidity piece is also interesting. Can you explain how this works a little bit?
yeah, this one is also unique because like deBridge already have the protocol owned liquidity, from the protocol fees that the protocol was generating during the last few years. So it's almost $13 million the protocol has generated, and plus like liquidity from bits coming from users who bid through LFG. So basically, protocol or treasury will be the owner of position, the liquidity provider to Meteor pool, and this pool have 30 bips trading fee, basically 0.3%. And that means that all the trading fees will be accrued by the DAO itself, because like the position, the liquidity is owned by DAO and provided from treasury. And Meteor pool is going to be the biggest source for DBR liquidity because 1% of total supply will be provided there. So that means that all the bots, all the like market makers or MEV searchers will have to arbitrage or hedge for this Meteor pool. So I expect that Meteor pool will have one of the biggest volumes for the DBR trading, which is cool. That means that DAO will also like capitalize on the trading fees. So yeah, that's also like quite unique aspect of this specific DBR launch.
I think that's what's cool here. So there's equality to it, right? Everybody is getting in at that same price. Well, everyone who's on the whitelist is getting in at that same price, which is a discount to the spot price when it actually goes live. And then it's going live everywhere at the same time. You've seen other launches where maybe like a centralized exchange starts trading before on-chain does, and you get this weird kind of dynamic happening. Not the case on this one, which I think is pretty cool. And I love the fact that the DAO will have a kind of this revenue stream right from day one. So the treasury will start to get filled up. So people who are excited about deBridge and excited about this kind of multi-chain future and this cross-chain future should definitely get involved over on the governance side. We can take some questions now as well, Alex, if that's all right. There was one that I saw. Yeah, I can't find it now. But it was around like, what is the DBR token's use? What are we actually going to do with the DBR token?
So the main use is participation in governance. All the token holders will be able to stake DBR to get like stake DBR and participate in the votings. And that comes to like selection of the protocol parameters, being on validators, governance of the protocol treasury as well. And also basically token holders will be able to participate in the decision-making process. For example, decide on what things should be supported next, right? What features should be integrated. And we will use the same governance framework that is used by Jupiter team. So yeah, we basically rely on your code base. So yeah, big shout out for supporting this as well. Yeah, because I think it works well, so we will just like replicate the same model, but slightly tailor it for deBridge, because eventually we'll also introduce additional security guarantees for validators of deBridge messaging. So there will be, that's an alpha, but there will be a restaking component. So you'll be able to restake JUP, not JUP, but DBR, maybe JUP as well, we'll see, DBR and some other assets for deBridge validators to increase economical security guarantees of the protocol. So yeah.
That's actually very cool.
Yeah, I think that's actually that is nice, genuine alpha on how the deBridge token will be used beyond just governance. But I think governance of a protocol that is generating millions of dollars in fees is itself an interesting thing to be able to go for here. Let's see.
Yeah, and I just forgot to mention one thing actually about the LFG launch, because just during this call, we actually distributed an exclusive NFT to all the addresses that we are eligible to participate in LFG, right? So you guys check out your Solana addresses, because everyone who was whitelisted should get the NFT. And huge shout out to Crossmint team who used compressed NFT in order to make this distribution happen, because it's like 24 or 20 or 54 or 52,000 addresses, right? And the whole distribution just like $400 or $300 in fees. That's thanks to Solana. It's cheap transaction. And
as always, shout out to my guy Rodri over there. That whole team is fucking just too good, honestly. Yeah, NFTs are for anyone on the whitelist. So you'll be able to find that in your wallet now. Let's see. Do we have other questions in here? There's a question about Launchpad fees. This is actually more of a question for Soju. I don't know if this is applicable here. But Alex, do you know what's happening to Launchpad fees? Will there be, I believe some of it will be included in ASR rewards as well. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I think the way LFG as a framework functions so that we, like the deBridge Foundation will transfer 1% of the total supply to LFG, and I guess 75% out of that will be distributed as ASR reward. But yeah, Siong and Soju will correct
We'll
me
know the
if I'm
details
wrong.
there. But yeah, so that's, I mean, at the launch price, that is something like, what, $2.5 million? So it'll be distributed via ASR to folks who participated in governance. Pays to participate in governance, folks, which I think is pretty great. And that'll come as a piece of the next ASR. That won't come I don't think that'll come in the claim coming up now. It'll come in the claim in January, if I'm not mistaken. Cool. Siong, any questions from your end here?
No. I think it's amazing. I think it's very cool to see. I remember when we first working on the bridge comparator. Then we're like talking to like so many people, like different teams and like whatnot. It's like really good to see, like, I think it's like, it seems very fast. I think it has been like more than a year right now when we started working on the thing until today to see like, so much volume going through like a deBridge and all this thing. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and also Jupiter was the very first Solana integration for deBridge as well. Basically,
That's cool.
we
That's cool.
leveraged
Yeah.
Jupiter API to enable trades into any long tail assets. Because like our solvers hold USDC on their balance sheet or inventory, they still need to fulfill trades coming to any liquid assets, right? So that's where Jupiter API comes in place. And that's why many of the deBridge users receive Jupiter drop as well, because from the very beginning they used Jupiter API. And
I remember that as well.
awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
The ties between Jupiter and deBridge, as you can tell, go way back here. This has been a relationship a long time in the making, and now JUP stakers are getting rewarded with this ability to buy in this kind of discounted price, which is pretty cool. Anyone who voted in governance is getting rewarded, and would love to see people from the Jupiter community help support the deBridge community as well. This is obviously not financial advice. You should do your own research. I don't know anything about the token specifically, but I know a good project when I see one. And I think the deBridge really kind of revolutionized and changed the way that people thought bridging could even happen. And so just from the spirit of supporting innovation is really interesting. And final thing I'll say, there's a clear overlap in kind of mission between Jupiter making DeFi swaps as fast as possible, like the best swaps in the game, and deBridge making transfers between chains the fastest around as well. DeFi waits for nobody, I think is the great way to go.
Yeah, DeFi does not wait. That's the motto.
DeFi does not wait. Yeah, I was trying to remember the tagline. It's such a good fucking tagline. I couldn't believe I forgot it in the moment. That is pretty great. For anyone else who wants to learn more about deBridge, Alex, where should they go? How do they get in touch?
Yeah, I guess if you want to learn about the protocol, just check out our Twitter, deBridge Finance, or check our documentation if you're technical and want to understand more about like cross-chain intents, zero TVA design. If you want to learn more about the token governance and like how we approach decentralization of deBridge as a protocol, check out the deBridge Foundation Twitter, because the token itself is launched by Foundation, which is basically an entity, operational arm of deBridge DAO. So yeah, that's a separate Twitter on deBridge Foundation. It got all the details. And also check out the deBridge.foundation website, where you can see like timeline and all the important information. And reach out on Discord or Twitter. You're always available. Don't hesitate to ask any questions on our social channels.
Well, before you go, Alex, we have one hard-hitting question here from Scarlett, actually. What is deBridge planning to do once everyone is finally on Solana? If it's the only chain that survived, what happens to deBridge?
We'll retire. Maybe I will become semi-retired dev someday.
deBridge will have fulfilled its mission fully at that point. All right, excellent. Thanks for coming out, Alex. Everyone, go check out deBridge. Go get informed before the token launch happens. It is Tuesday, to say this one more time, Tuesday, 17th of October at 8 a.m. UTC. Which trading will go live for everybody all at the same time.
Yeah, and LFG on 15th.
LFG on the 15th, excuse me. Yeah, so LFG 2 days before, so you can join this 250 million FTV kind of early pool for people who are whitelisted. And the token actually will go live on the 17th follow Jupiter on Twitter, follow deBridge on Twitter. You'll get all your updates from there. Alex, thanks so much for coming out, my guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, buddy. All right. I think deBridge is so cool. I'm just like such a big fan of that product. It's so nice. I also saw some random chats in here about my age. No, I am not 40 years old. And no, I'm not a grandpa. I don't know why. Like, this is really hurting my feelings. I feel like I really got to get better, like, moisturizers or something if people think that I'm this old. People used to think I was young. Once upon a time, I was young and beautiful. And now I'm
they
old
think
and
that you're
haggard.
young, but yeah.
I don't know. Cash looks young. He looks young. Cash is not in his 40s. Yeah. Anyway, my age aside, that takes us towards the end of the call, folks. So here it is, the not so surprise POAP. Look at this, just beautiful thing. Shout out to Srijani, best artist on Solana.
Oh, this is
if you
amazing.
want this beautiful POAP, isn't it so nice? They're just like the wallets. I love seeing screenshots on Twitter of like wallets filled with these beautiful POAPs. All you need to do is scan this QR code. You will need to have at least 50 JUP staked in order to be able to get this, so we know that you're a real human being. And then you will find it. Please stop trolling me in the chat about how old I look. This is, I'm going to have to go cry. This is the first Planetary call. I'll have to cry afterwards. Add it to the bingo sheet. Does cash cry or not? Let's see. All right. No, I'm 33, which is like relatively young in the grand scheme of things, I think. Anyway, you could scan this POAP, my existential senior moment aside. That is the best way to get it. And that's going to be it for us today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Go follow JUP Uplink on Twitter. Go follow JUP Uplink on Twitter, or I will find you.
And also download the Jupiter app.
And download the Jupiter app. Gotta be shilling the Jupiter app as well, folks. As a reminder, just in case anybody missed it earlier on, we do also have the bounty out. We'll do it as well for Android. I saw some people asking. We'll make sure to do that for Android as well. But 500 JUP up for grabs for the most creative reviews in the App Store. Let's see what you got. Super Team Earn to submit those. For myself, for Siong, I'll say thank you very much. You don't have to go home, but you cannot stay here. Everybody, we will see you next time. Goodbye. Goodbye.